they're guided by the dead like we used to be. The people that rule the world are guided by the will of their forefathers. Their forefathers wrote out wills that went far into the future. And as they manifested the will of their forefathers, they taught us that it was the will of God being manifested on the earth. So their forefathers wanted them to continue researching biological warfare and to perfect that. And they manifested the will of their forefathers by creating vaccines and epidemics and pandemics around the earth. But what they told us was, we're in a day of sin and God's will is being carried out on the people because God is punishing us with HIV because it's homosexuality going on. God is punishing us with Ebola because folks won't turn back and pray to him. This is what the Hebrews teach. They teach black people is getting punished because we stopped worshiping Christ. So it's God's will for your children to be tossed to alligators. It's God's will for your ancestors to be burnt alive. You see the game being played? You're looking at it mythology. You're saying that everything I'm going through as far as a chosen child of God is the will of God because Israel turned away. It's not the will of God, it's the will of your oppressor telling you he's God over you. And if you believe that, then yeah, it's the will of God if you see the oppressor as your God. But the will of God is translated as prophecy to slaves. You see what I'm saying? So when we look at images like what's on the screen, you see why this is manifest destiny artwork and why that angel got the Bible leading those colonialists into victory. It's God's will. It's in the book. It's written. Their forefathers told them what lands to go conquer and how to conquer it. But we see it as wild, man. How they doing something that's written in the Bible? How did the Bible know that they was going to take our land? How did the Bible know that it was going to be a lot of diseases in this time? Just like my children know to sell my company in 10 years if I wrote it in the will. If I wrote it in my will, son, run the company for 20 years and sell it, my son is not a prophet when he say, hey, this company ain't going to be here in 20 years. He's manifesting my will. Let my will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So their ancestors who passed on in heaven are able to still manifest their will through their children as if they was alive because they're living through their offspring. So when I ask, is the Bible really prophecy or just good planning? I mean, that just sums it up for anyone who have a brain that can think. To say it's not careful planning and manifest destiny is to say that it's the will of God. You think God wrote it out for you to be thrown to alligators, eaten alive, skeeted with hose pipes, burnt alive? If that's God's will, then why would we want to turn back to a God that'll do us like that? Well, if you don't turn back, worse stuff gonna happen and you're gonna burn in hell. So, well, I'll burn in hell. I ain't scared like y'all. Fuck a God that'll let little infants get tossed to alligators. Fuck that God. That God tell me if I don't worship him, he gonna burn me in hell. Bitch, turn the fire up. Turn that fire up. I ain't worshiping you out of fear, bitch. It was your will for niggas to get burnt alive. It was your will for babies to get tossed to alligators. Bitch, put me in the hot part of hell. I never serve you, bitch. Burn me up. I ain't scared. I don't care. Fuck it. You ain't gonna make me worship your evil ass by telling me you gonna do the same thing to me that you did to my ancestors. You telling me in hell I'm gonna be burnt alive. My ancestors went through that on earth.